Tefl-Dude here. For the last year, I've been teaching online using 4 different platforms: Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, Moodle's BigBlueButton, and Zoom. Now, they all have things I like and dislike about them regarding how useful they are to make teaching online interactive and rewarding. So whether you're someone looking to start online teaching, or a seasoned professional looking to change platforms, or someone interested in knowing how to use the platforms more effectively, then watch on. I am going to compare 10 of the most important features one by one. So we will look at interfaces first in each of the platforms and then give a grade at the end of that session, and the grades will be 10, 6, 3 and 1 point, respective of the best to worst in each category. The price is at the end because it's not that important if you're being serious about this, and they're all about €5 per month within each other. However, I will not be showing you how to join and pay for or enlist students. They are a one-time activity that do not involve daily teaching techniques. Now, I will be teaching from a Windows laptop and my students will be on 4 different devices. The student me is on the Surface Pro. The rocker or ice cream lover is on an iPhone. The hippie me is on an Android tablet, and the unshaven me is on an iPad. So, let's get started with the interface. Now, initially when you start Zoom, you may have this full screen and you think, oh no, where do I go? How do I get out of this mode? I want to see my PDF. What you need to do is click on the view and exit the full screen. So we're going to exit the full screen, and now I can see my icons at the bottom that I wanted to jump to. For instance, I have a PDF that I want to share with them. So in order to do this, click on the share button at the bottom and click the PDF. Now normally there's a green image around the screen you're sharing, but maybe they've updated it and changed it. So you can see, I can see the document, they can see the document, they can see photos, but I'd like these photos to be at the top in a bridge so that when I'm talking to someone, I'm not looking down. And a way to do this is with it on this 2 bars, which is called, I think it was called grid view or something. No, this is grid view. So this is another view. What you do is you go down to the bottom and you can see it's gone in a row, and then I can drag it to the top. So now everyone's in the top, that's perfect. If I drag it to the side, everyone's at the side. If you want to do it manually, click on the grid view, and now I can stretch it out to be whatever I want it to be. If I want it to be a square like this, I can make it like this. If I want it to be in a row, then I would have to fiddle around a bit to do that. However, remember, if you change that view to the show thumbnail, then it does it for you. You can simply just go to the bottom, puts it in a row, stick it to the top. So the last thing I want to do is I want to see the chat as well. So hover down here and I can click on the chat. If you can't see it there, it will be in the extended information on the right. So click chat. So I'm just going to write hello to everybody, and they can write to me and I can see what they say. So that's the interface. Remember that the video you're looking at with the interface, I got this background. Sometimes they don't offer this to you. So what you can do is, I'm just going to change this so that when I'm talking to the camera I can see me, I'm at the top, and it looks like I'm talking to you. I'll just show you quickly in the video area how you can change the background. You have to hover down and then go to video and simply choose a virtual background. So you can choose any background you like. Notice also you can choose Snap Camera. Now I've installed it, and what it does is I've got a camera on another laptop here. I am using a monitor now, but they're sharing the same screen, so it's as if I am using the laptop. But I'm going to use the other camera because on the other camera I decided to put Snapchat, and I'll just show you what that is. It's an app, and you can see me talking here with this nice hair or what I've got. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this image to that. So because what's happening is that's my integrated camera, and the one I'm looking at now is an extra camera, Pro. So I've got it ready. Make sure you do it on your camera before you join the Zoom. So set up the camera first, and then I'm going to change this view from this video to the Snap camera. Ta-da! And look at that. Now, oh sorry, I should be looking over there. So now you can see, not only do I have a nice virtual background, I also have a new face. So if you've got a bad hair day, you can simply add Snap Camera. So that's the Zoom interface for you. Next, let's look at Google Meet interface. So here is the interface of Google Meet. We simply gave them the link from a classroom we made, and they took the link, I emailed them the link, and they responded. Very quick, very simple, and the first interface we're shown is the 5 of us together. Now you can change them if you click on this icon here and go to change layout. And the layout I prefer is this sidebar, because then when I'm presenting, we actually go to the side. And obviously the main speaker is here. But for now, I'm going to leave it back on the other layout to show you what happens when I share a screen. So now we're going to try and see the PDF and the chat together. So I'm going to present a window. Now I can't see the PDF because what I need to do is make sure that it's up. See, here it is on the top, and if I do this, it disappears from my ability to share it. Make sure it's visible to you. There it is again. Now I can click on it and share. And now you can see, I'll just move it away a little bit. I don't want to move it away too much. Because I need to edit this and show them, I need to make it a size where I can see. They can see exactly what I see on the left. They can see their pictures on the right, and they can see the image on the left. But what about the chat? Can we involve the chat as well? Well, if you look at the items below, there is show everyone. So I can show the names, images, and that. And I could probably present as well with that image. Can I do the same for the chat? Yes, I can. But it's a bit narrow, isn't it? Everything's a bit squished in. So what normally happens is you would just have to not show the chat. But you will have to have your screen. So if you made it bigger, like this, you will have to shrink it to this size, just so that you can still see the people you're sharing the document with. So that's all you get with Google Meet. You're not able to see the chat at the same time without sacrificing something. So the best way is just to have the video and the document, and that should suffice for most of us. So this is the initial view when you join MSTeams. This is my training. You click on the Meet and this window will appear. Unfortunately, it's a pop-up window, which means you will have to move it around like this in order to see everything, because I still want to see this icons on the left. You could make it large like this, so we'll do that for now. Now I want to see if I can see the PDF at the same time as the videos. there is my PDF, and you can see the window has disappeared with the videos. So you have to go back to these icons at the bottom and find the one that is the video. And here we are. Now I have to go back and click on the PDF. However, I can't see the people and the PDF at the same time. So what I have to do is click on participants. And now, at least, when I'm sharing the PDF, I can see the names. I can't see the faces, unfortunately. So there's not too much to the interface. Regarding the chat, you would have to click on this, send a new message, and that message would go to everybody. You can't send individual messages. And then once again, I have to click on that. The image disappears, and then I have to click on the PDF again and just be working on the PDF with them. Regarding the videos, when you are just doing a video meet, you can actually add a virtual background or no background. So you can change it, simply click on it and click apply. And then you're at the beach. I will apply and go back to this. Remember, I have to close this, go to this item and click back onto the image. And that is the MSTeams interface. Not very clever, and it could be better. So regarding the interface of the BigBlueButton, you'll notice that the webcams are at the side, and also you don't have this ability to have a nice background like you do in the other ones. However, remember Snap Camera, and we can always use that to give ourselves a good background. So what you can do is change your camera view. So I'll share the webcam, and I'll stop sharing that. And now I'm going to share my Snap Camera. And soon it should pop up. And there you go. Oh, I'm sharing the two cameras. That's a bit weird. Okay, so as you can see, I can share my laptop camera with the Snapchat involved. So you can see I've got Snapchat. I decided to choose this nice background, but I'm a bit blended into the background. Even though I've got a green screen, it's not really that good. And I think for the duration of this meeting, maybe I'll use this green screen area here. So, but remember, you can use this background if you wish. So I'm going to shut off the cameras and stop sharing that camera. So now I'm back to the green screen camera, which is the one I generally use. If I move this way a bit, I'm in more of the green screen, as you can see. So how does it all work? We're all on the left in this interface. What's great is I can see the users on the left and their names. I can see the chat if I write hi. And everybody can see the chat. That's great. I can see the videos and I can see the screen. And this is where you upload images. Sure, I could do this where I share my whole screen. I can share a window as I do on Google Meet. But here, so long as you have a PDF file of about 10 pages, you can actually upload it here. And remember that document, I'm going to upload that now. So I'm going to click here and manage the presentation. And here is where you can just drop a file. So here is where let's go back to my media and here. So here's the book. And make sure if you click this, that means they can download it as well. So I'm going to click this so that they can also download it. And then I'm going to say upload. Now it will upload it in a kind of image format. But when they download it, they can download the actual PDF and all the editing I've done to it. If I've added an audio file in there, they can download that too. So now you can see the screen on the left. It's a bit small, isn't it? So why don't we try and squish it so it's more like that. So you can, manipulate the screen a little bit. I can jump to slide 3. In fact, probably I should jump to slide 5. Okay, this was that image we had before where we were editing it together. So here's the interface. We've got the videos, we've got the screen, we've got the chat, everything together. It's a great interface. I think this is one of the top interfaces. And also, I do believe I can move these to the top. I'm going to try to move the photos to the top. Let me see if I can get it. There we go. Okay, so you see you can also move the videos to the top so I can be talking to you at the same time. But notice the screen does become narrow. And most of the time when I'm teaching on this platform, we don't even have our cameras on, because then it gives us a lot more real estate. And but what you can do, you can click on shared notes, not to write on, but what that does, it gives you this ability to move this arm a lot further. So you can do this kind of thing with it. But I do like the fact that we can have the cameras on the left as well. So we'll move that back to the public chat, and I'll see if I can move these cameras here. You can see here an area has been made, and it's not a bad way of teaching, I guess. So now remember, when you want to zoom in, you just use the wheel mouse, zoom in. So that's the interface. PDF, images, chat, users, perfect. So there you have our 4 interfaces. And for me, the winner is BigBlueButton, because you can see all 4 items: PDF, users, video, and chat. While in Zoom, you cannot see the users. In MSTeams, you can only see the PDF and the users, and you have to constantly click on the PDF to bring it back up. And the same goes with Google Meet, where you have to move the PDF on top. And now let's move on to the next round, PDF editing and sharing. In the second part, we're looking at how well we can share this PDF with the students, and also whether or not I can give them the power to edit it, either in a group or individually. I've already opened a PDF, so we've seen how to do that. Now we're going to see whether or not we can edit it and they can edit it. First of all, have a look at the bottom. We have these annotating tools. To make sure your students can use it, check the security tab and make sure annotate shared content is on, and that's for all. We click on annotate, go to, you can either draw something or you can do a text like this. You can write refer to, and then they can use the mouse and maybe move this thing up and down. Notice though that when I move the document up and down, the 2 remained in its place. So this is a little difficult if you're sharing the screen and giving them something to write on. Make sure you don't move the screen. Make sure you have it exactly the way you want it. Now they can all share. I'm still in charge, so I can clear all drawings, not just my own. And so I'm going to clear the drawings, because rather than that, that's a great tool. If you have Foxit Reader or Adobe Reader, and many other readers actually have this ability where you can actually type directly on here. Now that's obviously for me to do. You know, I have this capability to do this. So if I change it to 12, so it's bigger. And also you've got the pen, so you can try and write with that. Now there is an option on here where you can give an individual remote control. If you look down here, it says remote control, so I could give somebody else the power to write on this document and do that. But to be honest with you, it doesn't work that well. I've tried it, it's a bit cumbersome. So I'd avoid that. I just let them use the annotating tools, and then, it doesn't stay with the screen. But you can write on the board, obviously, very easily using the Foxit or Adobe Reader. Now, the next thing I want to do is this document, let's say it's part of a book. That would be 100 megabytes. It'd be too big to give to them in an email or sort of thing. You'd probably have to share it with them from a Google Drive or something. However, if you cut down the chapter, so if when you can go, there's a function where you can print. If you go to File and Print, you can actually print it with an Adobe PDF, and you could print 10 pages. And that way, you would have a document like what I have here. So what I can do now is, everybody's here, I can simply click on this item, which is 14 megabytes, because I added an audio file in there, and I can simply drop it here, and there you can see I'm sharing it with everyone. A word of warning though, it only shares with people who have a laptop or a PC or a Mac. It doesn't work if they have an iPhone or if they have an iPad or an Android tablet. They won't receive it. They won't be able to open it, look at it. It will need to be emailed to them. However, most of the time when you're teaching people on a PC. So this is great for that. So now we're going to see if we can edit this PDF, whether there's any tools for them to write on it. Obviously there is for me. Now, if I want to write on it, that's quite simple. I just click on this comment. This is Adobe Reader. And then I have these tools where I can write and I can type, refer to, and I can do that. But unfortunately, I'm not able to give this ability to any of the students. If I have a new document, I would have to put this document in the classroom area for them to take. So if we look at the classroom, we've got classwork, and I could just create new material and I could leave it there. So that's quite a good function to have. It's not the same as in Zoom, but it's okay. But it's not that immediate. I'd have to go there, upload it. I couldn't just pass it to them in the chat. If we have a look at the chat, there is no real function for me to do that. Even if I tried. Here we go. Let's see if I can put it in the message. No, it just opens up in a new window. So that was a waste of time. So there you have the PDF. We can show it. I can annotate it, but they can't. However, I can leave it for them in the Google Classroom to look at and use in the lesson. So now we come to the area where we're sharing the PDF and editing it. So I simply go to the share area, click on the window and share the PDF. However, we have disappeared again and we have to bring back our window, bring back the PDF, and we can all see it together. Now, as for editing it, if you move your arrow to the top, you can see that I can give control of this to Gmail because he's on a PC. And once I've given him control, he can start writing on this or moving it around as freely as I can. So with the comments tool, you could start writing on this if you wanted to. Consist of, and you can edit it or you can write text, succeed in. All that editing, I can give the control to another person. As for passing on the file, we simply go to this icon here I will remove this. And in the files area, we have posts. And in the files area, you go into the classroom and you can upload the document there. So I can upload Spot the Difference B. There's A already. And it takes no time at all. In fact, you can upload large books here, like 100 megabyte or something. So it's a very good place and they'll be stored all the time. So there you have it. We have the ability to present the PDF, edit the PDF, and share it with the students in the files area. So we've seen we can upload PDFs quite easily. You can upload as many as you want in advance, and you can share them as well. So for instance, if I wanted to upload another one, I could look for it here or simply drag in the Irish jokes thing. And here, remember to click this if you want them to download it. See, it says it's converting the file, and there's the image. We can talk about the jokes and what can they guess what the ending might be. These are the wrong endings. And they can click this button here and download the original presentation. So let's look at the original presentation before. So manage presentations, go back to my brands. Now this presentation, if you remember, it has an audio file. Now this audio file which I embedded, you can check out one of my videos about how to make interactive PDFs and how to add audio to PDF files. Right, a quick look at editing. You click on the hand tool and you can use the pen. You can use a text box. You just simply have to left click, hold it down and write the letters. You can undo what you've done, backspace. But this special button, it says turn on multi-user whiteboard. At the moment, the other users can't see anything. They can't do anything. But once I do this and give them that power, I'm going to try to go to another device. So probably, as you saw, there was different names going around. You can see my name, Andrew Carl. There's Andrew GM, because he's left his icon there. So it's great to give people the ability, but at the end I can simply take it away and their names disappear, and then I can delete everything they've written. But what's good is if they do write something, for instance, if I write refer to, and we do a square on something, here we are on the next slide. Notice that if I go back to the previous slide, that information is still there. So it doesn't move, unlike on Zoom where it kind of disappears because you're writing on the glass. Here, whatever we write, it can stay there, but you can't download it with the editing on it. If you download it, you will just download the file as I uploaded it in its purest version. So that's editing the PDF, that's showing the PDF, and it's also at the bottom sharing the PDF. So probably, the big blue button seems to top it all in that kind of ability. And here you have it. Big Blue Button wins because it's far easier and 100% effective, and it works properly when the students are trying to edit it and I'm trying to edit it. In the others, really, I'm the only one who can edit properly. Maybe in Zoom you can write on a kind of glass area, but it doesn't stay with the PDF. So they came second. Now when it comes to the chat function, all of them can chat obviously to everybody, but we're looking for which ones can actually chat to the individual person. So you can send a private message and they can send a private message to each other. And also we're looking for ones that perhaps you can put in a PDF or document into the chat and they'll receive that as well. So let's take a look. So now quickly we're going to look at the chat features, because with Zoom, what's really nice is you can chat to individuals. So I could just write to Pablo, how are you today? And only Pablo gets that message, and he can write back to me, yeah, I feel okay, I might leave early, and he can say that privately to me. So that's a good chat function. Obviously you can chat to everyone, and you can see it all the time. So that's what I like about the chat function in Zoom. As well, as previously mentioned, you can send small PDF documents to them, particularly in the next item when we talk about breakout rooms. So let's have a look at the chat function in Google Meet. Click here to click on the chat. It says send a message to everyone. Unfortunately, unlike with Zoom where you can send it to an individual person, you can't really do that here. So that spoils the idea of being able to give a certain person one part of a text and another person another part. And nor can you share the PDFs in the chat like you can with Zoom. So that's a shame. And obviously, if I want to look at the chat all the time, it is a bit, I can't resize the window. It would have to be this big, and I can't make it smaller. So the chat is a bit unusable in that sense. Now we come to the chat function. And unfortunately, as you've noticed before, if we're just having a video conference and writing chat, then that's useful. But remember, you're chatting to everybody and not to an individual person. So there's no secrecy going on here. So that's unfortunate. And unlike Zoom, nor can you put in a PDF to this place. If you have a look at the bottom, you've got this icon, upload from my computer. So you could upload the PDF here, but once again, it would go to everybody. And why would you do that when you can simply put it in the files area? And then you have these other things. But altogether, a kind of useless chat, because now I can't see the names of the people. In some schools, I've had like 30 students, so I've needed to be able to see all their names on the right-hand side. Now we're going to look quickly at the chat view. And the great thing about the chat view is we can see it all the time. And remember when we had the breakout rooms, we could write individually to each individual person. Well, we can do that here. If you look, there's Paolo. If I click on his name, I can simply start a private chat. I can say, how are you? And then when I press this arrow, private chat with Paolo Inzaghi from Andrew Callister, and that's it. And so if he wants to private chat with me, and it's great if students want to chat with each other, you know, if they want to ask questions that they don't want to ask me. So as you can see with the chat function, we can write individually to each other or as a group, and we don't, unlike Zoom where you would put a PDF in there to share, we don't need to do that because we can put the PDF here. Unfortunately, I don't think I can put in here a PDF individually, like if I wanted to give them part 1 of something, it wouldn't work. So you can't have everything. So that's chat function in BBB. So Zoom wins this round because not only can you speak privately to individual students and them to each other, you can also send documents directly through this messaging service. Now we're going to look at breakout rooms. All the platforms have a breakout room, and we're just going to look at how easy it is to get in and out of a breakout room. And also whether you can move people between breakout rooms And more importantly, can you share, using the chat, individual or private documents so they can have like a competition between each other? So let's look at the breakout rooms. So let's look at Zoom's ability to perform breakout rooms. You simply go down to the bottom, click on More, and then you can see this icon here, Breakout Rooms. So I'm going to click on that now, and I can make 2 rooms because there's 4 of the students, and create. And while it's done automatically, I can move them to the different rooms to vary the discussion between them. Now I can open all rooms, and if you have a quick look at the option, what's important is it's nice to allow the participants to return anytime they want. If they run out of speaking, they don't know what to say anymore, they can leave the room, they don't have to stay there. But also there's a countdown, and normally I would change this to 10 seconds. So when I want to end the room, they get a warning, oh, you got 10 seconds to finish off that. So that's a good option to have. Now I'm not going to start the room, because one of the benefits of having this chat function is that, let's say I'm going to say the 2 people beginning with T, I'm going to put together, but I'm going to give them a document. If they were all on a PC, I could share a PDF with each of them. For instance, if you just have a look here, I've got Spot the Difference here. And what I could do is give one the A and another one the B. Now the problem here is that they're not all on a PC, and remember, I can't share a PDF with them, but normally everyone's on a PC, so I would give Pablo A, then I would give the iPhone B, and then I would do vis-a-vis. But what I can do and show you now is with this Irish jokes I have section A, where they have the lead in and the punchline. The punchline belongs to the other team. So what I can do is say jokes A with punchline, copy, I'm going to give to the iPhone. So that's personal message to him. And Pablo, I'm going to give the section B, copy, and then he has that. And now when I put them in the breakout rooms, they can both talk to each other about that. So let's go there now and go to this breakout room. And I'm going to open the rooms. Now I don't go anywhere, I stay here, but they will disappear. Okay, so finally they've disappeared into these rooms, and you can see the green marker saying they're there. So I'm going to join the iPad guys. And here it says unmute your speaker and increase your volume to hear the others. But don't worry, I've muted everything because I'm making this video. But you can see they're together, they can share that information, they can say the jokes. I did this the other day, it worked really well. And then I can simply, halfway through, I can go to the breakout room icon again, the 3 dots at the bottom, breakout rooms, and I can join the next group. And so now I'm in the room here. And remember, once they've done everything, you can simply end the breakout rooms. So what I can do is click on the breakout rooms and say, you know what, I'm going to close them all. And it says breakout rooms will close in 60 seconds. But you can just, they can leave at any time and you can leave any time. So you can leave the breakout rooms. So here we are, all back together. Remember, once you've come back into the room, you will need to reshare the document you were looking at. So I'll have to go back here, reshare the document in order to bring us back to the discussion window interface. So that's Zoom for breakout rooms. Okay, so Google has finally included breakout rooms. All you have to do is click on this icon here. You can see I've got breakout rooms, polls, which we'll be looking at later, and recordings and whiteboard. click on the breakout room and set up the breakout rooms. So you can click 2 rooms, shuffle the rooms, because I don't want to decide, well actually they've already decided these 2 people are in that room and that person's in that room. I guess I can move that person to this room and I can start the rooms. Now I won't open the rooms officially because it's very much like Zoom. You go into the rooms and you can close the rooms when you like. You can join different rooms as a teacher. A great aspect of Google Meet, finally, they've managed to include it. Now we come to breakout rooms, and this is a brilliant feature from Microsoft. You simply click on the breakout room icon. I'm going to choose 2 teams because I only have 4 students, and automatically assign. And there you have the 2 rooms. Now they haven't started yet, so you can still be talking to the students. You can look at the names yourself, and before you even begin, you can reassign these students. I can assign this to a different room. And let's just start the rooms. Once they go into the room, it's almost like another video area. So we'll start the rooms, and each person is taken to that room regardless of whether they touch the board or not. You've noticed that the other devices, they've just automatically done it. I haven't had to go over there and touch OK. So they're automatically in the rooms, and I can join the room clicking Open, Join Room. Now, once again, it's opened up another pop-out window. Microsoft is full of these pop-out windows. And we can talk to each other. There are the 2 people. And if I go to the meeting options, yes, everyone can present. So they can present to each other when they're discussing. So I'll save that. And now, if I want to, I can simply join the other room very quickly. And now I'm in room 2. So I didn't have to leave room 1. If I go back to room 1, it says I'm basically paused in room 1. I'm not really in room 1. I'm in room 2. But if I want to, I can simply go back to room 1. But I have to do it on the right-hand side. So I'm going to go back to room 1 again. So I've left room 2, and here I am in room 1. I'm going to mute my mic. And then when you've finished, you can simply close all the rooms. What's nice about this is I can send everybody a message. Closing in 1 minute. And once I've sent that, that message goes to everybody. So if I join room 1, I can check their messages. And it says there, important, closing in 1 minute. So they would have seen that message. So now I'm just going to close all the breakout rooms. But I do have to, so I'll dismiss that one. I do have to resume myself in the general room. It says I'm on hold. So remember to resume in the general room. Everyone else has come back to the general room. I think that's quite fast and efficient. What's great is, if there's a late participant, you can click on this and assign them into one of those breakout rooms, even while they're in a breakout room. Now, nobody else has that feature. So you can sign a person if they're late into a breakout room and they join. It's a brilliant feature from Microsoft Teams. Okay, so now we're coming to breakout rooms. And breakout rooms in BBB has a bit of an advantage over the others in that, let's say I'm sharing this page. Now, normally in a breakout room, when they go to a new window, they won't see this page anymore. They have nothing. And so they'll need to have the document to hand. However, in BigBlueButton, this image is what they see in the breakout room. It's brilliant. So you simply have to come here to the icon, create breakout rooms, randomly assign. You can choose the minutes, let's say 5 minutes, and you simply create the breakout rooms and they'll be asked to go to them. So they'll get a message, join the room. So I'm going to click on all the icons so that they can all join those rooms.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
And obviously I'm the only person in this conference. So what I need to do is to click on the breakout rooms and join one of these rooms. So I'm going to join this room. And notice I get an extra tab. It's a secondary tab.
You are now muted.
So here I am in the new window. And I can see that the people on the left, Andrew iCloud and Andrew Yahoo, are here. And they can discuss this text. What are the words? What are the missing words? Can they figure it out? And we can chat to each other. And if I want to go to the other room, if I join it now, what will happen is I'll have joined 2 rooms and they can all hear me talk about the other room. So the best thing is you just simply click off the X and join the other room.
You are now muted.
So here I am in the training room 1, and you can see at the top it says the remaining time is 3 minutes. But we can cut that short. So what I can do is, if they've finished talking to each other, I will decide at the bottom here to end all breakout rooms. So I can end all breakout rooms.
You are now muted.
And now they've all been asked, please allow your camera. So I'm going to allow them to allow their cameras. And there we are. The only camera that hasn't come on is mine. Share webcam. Now notice that the chat has gone away, but you can always bring that back out, or you can always take it away. Maybe that'll give us more room. Oh, that's interesting. It gives us a lot more room to make this larger. That's excellent. So there's the breakout rooms. So there you have it. Zoom wins in the breakout room category because you can share the private text and docs, which makes interactive pair work easier, which is the purpose of breakout rooms. Audio is the most important part of any platform, and we're looking at 3 things. Can we share the sound from the PC directly, or do we need a microphone for the speakers to talk into? Secondly, does it have noise cancellation ability? Can it cancel background noise like dogs barking or drilling? Thirdly, does it have caption capturing? So as I speak, my words are typed at the bottom of the text of the page. Now, just a quick look at some microphones here. Condenser mics are the ones where they capture the sound all around. Dynamic mics only capture this area, which can be good if you do have a lot of background noise. So, the cheapest one is $100, and this is a USB. You don't need an interface. Whereas the condenser mic you can get for $40. Both of them are very good, and I've used them both. My own interface is at the bottom with the Behringer and the dynamic mic. If you can afford it, it's a great deal. Now we're going to look at Zoom's ability to share audio. And they have a great ability in that all you have to do is go to the bottom and click Share Sound. And that will share the sound from your computer. So you can actually turn off your microphone and they will still hear the sound that you're showing. If you're playing a track from an MP3 file, they hear it perfectly. It was crackly here, but that's because I'm in the same room. Don't worry about that. And also for sharing the audio from a video if you're showing a YouTube video. The next importance in audio is whether or not you can stop listening to background noise. And what you can do here is if you go to your audio and click on the audio settings, you see you have the ability to suppress background noise. So I could do it so that it's really high and it will suppress any drilling, any noise like that. But I'm just going to leave it on auto for the moment. So generally I use auto and it's fine. Now regarding closed captions, for me what I mean by that is that as you speak, do the words automatically right. It's all written out for you. Zoom doesn't have this. They do have some kind of caption, but you'd have to pre-prepare them and upload them, or you'd have to write it as you're doing it. But I'm not going to give any marks for that because what I want is simple, write down what I'm saying. So that's Zoom for audio. So let's look at the audio features in Google Meet. Unlike Zoom, they do not have this ability to share the PC's sound. What I mean by that is, if I want to share this audio track here, it cannot do that even though the sound's coming from the computer. If I share window, well, let's see what happens if I try to share that audio as a window. So I'm going to play that track.
Unit 8.
And now I'm going to go to share and see if that comes up as a window. See, if I click it, it says share. It will just share the picture. It will not share the audio. However, if I was to share a tab, like a website or a YouTube video, then it will share that audio. So it's good for that, but not if you're doing exams for Cambridge and you need them to do a listening. What happens there is, what I usually do is I have to turn my microphone and point it towards the laptop where the sound is coming out, and then they can hear it better. But you do need a microphone for that. Now, if you're doing a listening with Cambridge, sometimes if you have a microphone like I do, and you have the headphones, I can just put the headphones on the microphone and they can hear it quite clearly. So you will need an external microphone, because if you're trying to get the microphone on your laptop to hear your speakers, that could be quite difficult and not a good sound. Now regarding background noise and noise cancellation, unfortunately Google Meet doesn't have that. So it really pays to have a dynamic mic where it doesn't take the back surrounding sound. That disappears. Because it's a dynamic mic, it just focuses this way. Regarding caption, this is where Google comes up trumps. If we click here and we look for closed captioning here, you can choose the language. So now I've turned my microphone on. You can hear what I'm saying. Unfortunately, you can also hear it from the other devices. But it's really quite clear. So this is a great addition. So Google Meet doesn't have the ability to share the sound really well. But so long as you have a microphone, that's not a problem. There is no noise cancellation, but you do have this excellent writing. Look at it. It's just amazing. One up for Google Meet. Now we're going to look at audio in MSTeams. All you have to do is click on Share. But before you do, look at that. Include computer sound. Click it on. Click the window you want. And there you have it. So there's our PDF. I've actually embedded an MP3 file here. So if I play it now,
Page 68.
you can hear the echo coming through the other computers I've got. Remember, if you forget to put your audio sound on, you can put the arrow at the top and it says it here, stop sharing computer sound. If you're not sharing the sound for a few minutes, this will turn itself off. Be very careful of that. With Zoom, it's always on. Once you've started to share, it's always on. Here, you will have to turn it on and click this.
The amazing thing about
Okay, so that's sharing audio with MS Teams. Brilliant idea. Next, we're going to look at noise cancellation features. And if you go to the device settings, you can see there's my speaker, there's my microphone, and noise suppression, you can choose high, low, or off. And by default, it's on default. So, the last thing I want to introduce you to is this live captions. So if I turn that on, I'm going to put my mic on so that it can read. There might be some echo. So now, you should be able to hear me. Unfortunately, with an echo. However, it only gives 2 lines at a time, whereas with MS Teams, you had at least 4 or 5 lines. That was really nice. But still, it's a great function to have. So you've got audio sharing from your PC, you've got noise cancellation, and you've got this text at the bottom. Excellent, excellent audio facilities from MS Teams. Now this platform doesn't have the ability to share the audio. Like in Zoom, there's a button that says share your PC audio. It can share the web audio, like a Chrome tab, but with a window, it's not available. So that's pretty poor, which is why you need a microphone with this platform. It doesn't have any noise cancelling features either. If there's a dog howling or drilling in the background, it won't cut it out. So another reason to get a dynamic microphone. Regarding closed captions, they kind of do have it, but again, you have to write them in yourself. So that's the audio function in BigBlueButton. So Zoom wins this competition because when it shares the sound, it stays on all the time. Whereas with MS Teams, it kind of goes off after about a couple of minutes if you're not using it. Google Meet and BigBlueButton don't have good audio, and therefore, you're going to have to buy an external microphone to get good results. Now, the polling function, for me, the most important thing, is it easy to use and is it quick? We're looking at how fast can you get the information out there and how fast can you get the results. So let's look at what they have to offer. So let's look at Zoom with regards to polling. How easy is it? Well, unfortunately, when you click on the Zoom, you have to prepare it earlier. This is one I prepared earlier because I teach a lot of Cambridge exams, and sometimes you need to know whether or not the person knows it's A, B, or C. Whereas when I ask them, what do you think of it, Angela? And she'll say A. And if she's the cleverest in the class, everyone will say, yeah, A, I think A too. And so that's not good. Polling is good because it allows you to see what person said what. But this doesn't do it in Zoom because when you launch the poll, they will answer the question. You have to write your own question. You launch the poll and suddenly they just click A and submit. And I'll submit the other ones. Okay, so now they've done their polling and you can see 50% think it's A, 50% think it's C. But I'm still none the wiser as to which person said A and which person said B. They do say that you can find out later, collect it, but that's horrible. I want instant polling. Zoom doesn't do that. So for Zoom, that's a fail. Now let's quickly look at polls in Google Meet. You click down here, go to the polls. I created one earlier. If you want to create another one, ask a question. We'll just say that's the question, and we'll say that's A and that's B. And we'll launch the poll. It's supposed to be launched. It said the host has started a new poll, open. So this person has to open it, and then they can vote. And I wonder if I'll see a vote. There, I've seen one vote. It's very similar to the one available in Zoom. Once you end the poll, I don't know who said A. That's the only thing about this poll that I don't like. You can't tell who said what until the very end. Maybe there's a worksheet that you can collect. I don't like it. Total waste of time unless you want to know how many people like something without giving their name away. But for exams, it's a waste of time. Okay, so now let's look at polling in MS Teams. What you have to do, you don't have anything here regarding polling. And what you have to do is you have to go over here and you can put it on as an add-on here. And polling is always done in the forms section. So create and share form that your team needs to see the results. So you would call it 1 vote. And save it. And now we can add questions and get responses. So I can add a new question, a text, a rating. Let's say a choice. Question 1, the choice is A, B, add another option, C. And we'll leave it as that. And got it. And once I've done that, I can add a new question. And I've finished doing this, so I can simply see what's happening here. More, share. So I'll simply share it, copy the link. There's a lot of messing around, as you can see. It's not easy to do. I don't like it. So as you can see, it's not simple. The responses, you have to post it. It's quite tricky to learn. You have to share it, share a link, they go on the link, yada, yada, yada. It's annoying. I don't like polls in MS Teams. When it comes to polling, the big blue button beats everybody hands down. Particularly if you're teaching exams. Here I need to know if these students know which answer is A, B, C or D. And then I want to do another one and another one. And I want this to be quick and I want to know who knows what. You can see I've done some polling on the left here, but I'm not told who it is that chose those letters. But when you do a poll, you do get to find out. So I'm going to start the poll. Okay, boys and girls. Question 1. A, B or C or D. They get a poll notification and I can tell who pressed A. I know Andy Yahoo said A. So as you can see, or as I can see, everybody got it right apart from Andrew Gmail, unfortunately. Now, we all know what question 1 is. I'll explain to them why that one is the correct one. And we want another poll. So we can publish the polling results. Sometimes you can't do it unless you publish the results. So okay, I'll publish it for whatever reason. So now I've published the results, I can press do another poll. This time it's question 2. It says use of sustainability material. So he made use of it is the answer we're looking for. Again, we're going to see who knows this answer. Now as a teacher, I don't have to tell them who got one wrong. I can say, look at that. So 3 of you got it right, 1 of you got it wrong. The answer is B. They know who they are. I don't have to explain it to them. In order to see this page, I will have to press delete there. But now I want to do a new poll. Let's see if I have to publish the poll. Let's go to start a poll. No, I'll probably have to publish these results and then delete them and then start a new poll again. As you can see, it's very quick. It's not time consuming. I don't have to write anything down. I'm just polling very quickly for exams. So that's polling in the big blue button. As you can see, Big Blue Button has the best and quickest polls. I wouldn't even bother with the rest. They take time unless you put in a lot of effort to prepare. So Big Blue Button wins this hands down. Now a quick look at recording. It's useful if some students aren't available for the lesson Most of these platforms save it for at least about a month. So let's look at how easy it is to do and how long they save them for. Now, recording on Zoom couldn't be simpler. You simply come down here, click on the buttons and record to this computer where you can save it indefinitely, or record it to the cloud where, as you can see from this information, you have 30 days before it expires. But that's long enough for anybody to click on the link. Remember, your students get this link and you get this link, and it's great for when students can't attend lessons. However, please remember that when you go into breakout rooms, if you do a lot of breakout rooms, the students won't see that. A bit like Fight Club. What happens in breakout rooms stays in breakout rooms. So now we're going to look at recording in Google Meet. Simply go to the buttons at the bottom, click on Record Meeting. You'll be given notice that they will be saved in a Google Drive folder, which is great. Start the recording. And it says it's illegal to do the recording of the meeting without the consent. So they will be notified that they're going to be recorded. Up pops the notice. It says Andrew has started recording.
This call is now being recorded.
And as you could hear, somebody got a message, like a verbal message. This is now being recorded. So there's recording in Google Meet. It's saved on your Google Drive, so you can just give them the shared link to that video and put it in the homework folder area in case anyone missed a lesson, and then they can watch it at leisure. Next, we're going to look at recording, and recording is far easier. If you go to the icon here and click Start Recording. So now you get a message saying you're recording. Be sure to let everyone know they're being recorded. Now if I look on the other devices, it says you are being recorded, so be aware of that. And then you can dismiss this message. And the recording will be saved for 21 days. So I'll give it a while. Now I'm going to stop the recording. And it said the recording is being saved. You can find a link in the chat history. So let's go to the chat history and see what's there. The forms we tried to make are here. And here is the recording. And you can download it and it expires in 20 days, it says. So simply download, and you can see it's downloading the meeting. So that's recordings in MSTeams. Now when it comes to recording in the Big Blue Button, there is usually a button at the top, but I have this cheaper, older version of Moodle from before, and I haven't really upgraded to the expensive new account because I'm getting this cheap. But there is a button here. You just press it and say record, and you can record. So the good thing about the Big Blue Button is it will save your recordings for up to a year. So they'll save all your recordings for a year. It doesn't matter how large they are. Really good function. And what happens is, when you go back to the training, the recording will be here. It will be listed here. And that's how they can see the recording. It'll be there later. But it does exist. There's a red button at the top. You press record and it's a good function. Now, I've given the points to Zoom because they can store it on your PC and in the cloud. And as soon as it's done, you get a little email saying that you can watch it, and you can share this link with others, so you can share the recording with anyone. So Zoom wins this one. Now the whiteboard function, we're just concentrating on how easy is it to set up and how easy is it for the students to write and share information on it. Let's now look at the whiteboard function in Zoom. There isn't really much to it. You're simply doing a new share. You share the whiteboard and that's it. And everyone can write on it together. But you can't really paste any PDF on there or an image so that they could work on it together. From what you can see, there's just text, stamp, spotlight format, nothing much. And then when you finish, you just close it out. You just stop the share. And then you have to go back to the original share. So whiteboard in Zoom, nothing much happening. Now we're going to look at how to use the whiteboard in Google Meet. Simply click on this icon, go to the whiteboard. Now there is one already made before, but I'm going to start a new whiteboard. So I'm going to start a new whiteboard, so it's creating a jam, you can see here in the left corner. So we will be told to go to another website, and I'm not sure this is available on the iPhone and iPad because here it is sharing with two people. I think this is only for the Android tablet and the Surface Pro. So we'll send. You are sharing with these two. If they're not in the Google Workspace, they can't open it. So I'm going to go OK. And it will be. Now I've opened it here, but they won't see anything. What they'll have to do is go to this chat window here. And you can see this is the second one I've done. The first one didn't work so well. So they have to click on this link and then they can open up. So I'm going over there to help them to click on this link. So what I'm going to do is click on this Jamboard icon. And you can see already the other person wrote hi. So you can write on here, you can edit things together. It's quite nice, but you are going to another website. So that's the only thing. You will be taken to another website. It's a bit like Kahoot, where that's a great game, which you should look into. You are taken to another site. So it doesn't really belong to Google, and I don't really like it. It's not a good whiteboard as far as I'm concerned. But it's a whiteboard all the same. Now, whiteboard in MSTeams, you simply go to this link and you share the whiteboard. And everyone gets the ability to write on it, we can draw on it. And I'm going to go over to their screen to see if I can use it. And when you've finished making your edits, that's okay. Remember also, you can use the whiteboard as an extra place for them to go. So you can make as many whiteboards here as you like. And you can call this group 2. The other one was S1, make this S2, save it. And then you can tell your students, okay, some of you students, I want you to go to S2, some to S1, and I want you to write down your ideas. And then we can share these ideas. So that's whiteboards in MSTeams. Now this one's easy, the whiteboard. BigBlueButton starts off with a whiteboard. This is a whiteboard. If I go to Manage Presentations, I go to the default, confirm, and the default is this information page at the beginning. But if you look at the slides, all these are empty pages. So I just go to the next slide, and remember, I can give everyone the ability to write on here, and I will see their name as they will see mine. And you can write hi, and you can do whatever. So that's the whiteboard function, probably the quickest and easiest to do in all of the platforms. And once you've finished this, you can just simply go back to your normal presentation. And here we are. So whiteboards for BigBlueButton, the best and the quickest and the easiest to use. So we're giving this to the BigBlueButton. It wins outright. It's easy, it's fast, it's there. And you can interchange between the document and the whiteboard very quickly. All the others are very, very slow, so BigBlueButton wins. Now we'll take a quick look at the classroom function. What I mean by that is, can you prepare a classroom where they can visit anytime they like in order to collect documents and leave assignments? Now, regarding classrooms, a place where you can store documents and share homeworks and stuff, Zoom doesn't have this function, while all the others do. What you could do, you could simply go to your normal Gmail account, and if you hover over these apps, you can simply go down to where it says Classroom here, and you will be able to make a classroom, but you will have to put the email addresses of your clients into this classroom, and they can come here anytime and share. But you're not using a Zoom function, you're really using a Google function. But it's free, so in a way, you do have a classroom. Now, the great thing about Google Meet is that you have Google Classrooms. So over here, you can simply click on this icon, look for Classrooms down at the bottom, and you can join a class or create a class. And once you've done that, you can add your people, you can stream, you can make the classwork available, and here you can create an assignment, a quiz, a question, material for them to do, and later you can mark it and pass it off to them. So, classrooms in Google Meet. Excellent idea. Now, regarding classrooms, if we go to this area, you can see the Files area where we have class material that I have put there for us to use. You can add material, add as many folders as you like, that's great. But in addition, you have this class notebook. This is a kind of OneNote that they've added for us. If you don't see it here, you can add it yourself. Simply click this Add tab and you'll see OneNote to be added. Here, OneNote. So you have the class notebook, and notice that each person has a homework, class notes, quizzes and handouts box for themselves. So I can check their homework. There's a teacher only space, content library for them to share. This is a great thing because remember, OneNote is on all your devices. Also, you can do assignments. Here are some assignments that are done. 5 were turned in, not turned in, and then you can check them, return them. It's great for doing assignments. Oh, 1 was returned. What was that one? And then you can go and look at them if you wish to. Now, regarding the classroom area, just like Google Meet, if we go to the page before, you'll notice that this was our lesson. These are our courses. If you go into the lesson, you see there's a document I left, instructions for them to look at. This is the BigBlueButton that you do have to create for every lesson. And you're given the weeks that you're having these courses. You can put up to about 200 megabytes, not a lot. Some, depending how much you spend, maybe 500 megabytes of storage. But it's a place where they can do their homework. They can add an assignment. If you look down here, you've got site administration. It's a great course. And if they hand in an assignment, remember you can add an assignment. For instance, if I was to add this thing here, you just simply add an assignment and you write whatever the assignment is, and you can say when it's in by, when it's out by, and it's done. And the feedback types, you can write in the feedback here. Check out my BigBlueButton for Beginners course, particularly part 2, where it goes on about how students can give you homework, how you can mark it extra, etc., etc. And then you can save and return. And there you can see there's the essay they have to do. So they'll click on that and they'll try and fill it in as best they can. And I can see which students have given it to me and not. So that's the classroom area for BigBlueButton. It's really part of Moodle. They're together. As you can see, Google is the king of this domain because everybody has a Gmail account. It's easy to use and you can share these classrooms with any platform, even Zoom. So finally, the one we've all been waiting for, and now we're going to compare the prices. So finally, the thing we've all been waiting for, what's the price? You can take it monthly, but they do try and entice you to a yearly commitment of one lump sum of $150 and you make a $30 saving. However, you don't have that ability if you just need it for 6 months. So it's a good function that you can just have it for a few months, try it out, and if you don't like it, you can leave and you haven't lost a year's subscription. So that's what I like about the Zoom subscription. However, if you do stick with it, it does look quite expensive for $180 a year or $150 a year. So now we come to the main issue that most people are interested in, and that's the price. So you will have to purchase Workspace Essentials for $8 a month, buy a domain name for $10 a year. As you can see, my domain name is, if I was to click on that, my domain name is andrew@proenglishteaching.com. I tried to use my own name and email, but it won't let you do that. So you will be forced into buying this domain name, but it's quite cheap and you can cancel after a month. So maybe worth a try. So now finally we come to the price. How much is MSTeams? Well, if you look at this folder here, you can see that for $5 a month, you can have the MSTeams Basic. However, you do have to pay a commitment of a year. So you will have to pay in advance 5 times 12, $72, which is quite cheap. However, you won't get the additional extras such as Word, Excel, and the forms which you can use to do polling. That you may have to pay the extra $12.50. Here's the big question. How much is this wonderful platform? Well, it's $120 a month if you only have 50 students. You don't have as many students, but it isn't $180 like Zoom is per year. It's $120. So a little cheaper, not as cheap as MSTeams, but I think it's value for money if you're teaching exams. Now I did say we were going to concentrate on the paid for versions, but here's a little bit of information for the free versions should you wish to have a tryout. But you can see with the paid for version, MSTeam wins hands down, but you do have to pay yearly. So monthly if you want Google Meet and monthly if you want Zoom, but the other two are yearly. But it shouldn't be about the money. It should be about how well can you teach with the platform. So as you can see, Zoom is the winner with 68 points. BigBlueButton came second, MSTeams third, and Google Meet last. However, don't dismiss Google Meet just because it has low-end scores. Remember, and let's look at another chart, if you're a small business on a budget, then Google Meet is perfect for you. However, if you are going to be teaching Cambridge exams and you need to know who has the correct answer or to give tests, then the BigBlueButton is by far the best one you could ever use. However, Zoom is probably the best all-round one if you can afford it. So thanks for watching this video. I hope it's been useful to you. Share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and give it a like. And I hope to see you on the next video.